Welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was. Now I know that many of you are hoping for an encore performance, especially Paul, who was so moved that he got choked up by my singing last week. And he even made a tribute to said singing. I will put a link in the description below. And I'll put a link in the description below for all of the videos that I mentioned today. No, I will spare you another singing performance for now. Who knows what will happen in the future, though. But yes, it was a wonderful week. I had a great time, actually. First thing I want to talk about is the Wheel of Time. I had a wonderful time talking with my buddy AP from A Critical Dragon about the 5th episode of A Wheel of Time. This episode, for me, and I think AP would agree, it was a new high in the series. I was kind of lukewarm on the first 3, and then the 4th impressed me. And the 5th, I think, even brought it to another level. And I am speaking as a fan of the series, someone who has read the series once, so I consider myself a fan, although perhaps not a hardcore, dedicated fan of the books, but I do love the books. I have great respect for them, and I am enjoying this adaptation now. I admit, I was very skeptical in the beginning, and when the first 3 episodes came out, I was hoping that it would improve, and in my opinion, it has. It really has. I don't mind how it has diverged from the books. The adaptations have to do that, in my opinion, and I like what they've done in order to bring new people eventually, I think, to the books. So we shall see, but mostly I think what they did in episodes 4 and 5 were some good storytelling. Good storytelling with character development and with relationship building and pausing for those quiet moments, those conversations that are so important in order for the characters to be fleshed out. So I really appreciated those moments in episodes 4 and 5, along with, of course, the action. But for me, the best moments in the series so far have been the quieter moments. So yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 6, which I will be watching soon after recording this video. So we shall see what episode 6 looks like. I do not pay much attention to the buzz surrounding each episode as it comes out. So I just come to it completely unbiased and see what I see. So I'm looking forward, though, to episode 6. And what else did I do this week? Well, I had my very first episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy. And I had as my guest none other than Mike from Mike's Book Reviews, whom I have to thank for the title of this interview chat, I think chat is a better word, chat series that I'm going to be doing with my fellow booktubers. I'm really excited for this. The first episode, I think, went really, really well. I had a great time chatting with Mike with whatever came up. We just went wherever we wanted to go, and we talked about an array of topics. We talked about the Beatles. We talked about the Wheel of Time show. We talked about interacting with people on our channels. We talked about the various things that we're reading, Malazan and Dark Tower, and just you name it, and some of the series that I am reading and a bit stalled in, but we definitely intend to continue, such as The Witcher and Dresden Files. So yeah, I had a great time talking with Mike. Great fella. He's been so supportive of not only me, but many other smaller booktubers, and just very knowledgeable too. And one of the highlights of the conversation for me was when we talked about the impact of Booktube on people and in terms of their reading lives. And this was a very special topic to me as an educator, because I do think that what we do on Booktube is actually kind of important. It is a place for us to socialize and interact and talk about the books we love, and that's very, very important. But it's also a place that encourages people to read, and that is just fantastic. And I was saying to Mike how, you have a channel with over 60,000 subscribers. You're able to reach a lot more people than I am as an educator, where I have 200 students a year. So I think that what we do is important, and the interactions that happen on Booktube are a wonderful thing, encouraging reading and bonding over the books. I mean, it doesn't get better, really. So I just love what we can do and the influence that somebody like Mike can have and smaller channels as well, all of us together. It's a wonderful thing. It's a great community to be part of, and I'm very, very grateful for that, for all of you guys, really. So that part of the conversation really touched me, and I even had actually quite a few people who left comments. There was one comment that actually even got me a little teary-eyed. Someone talking about how getting involved in Booktube changed his life, and how reading books, it wasn't a thing until getting into fantasy and reading along with other people and talking about the books, and that being an exciting thing, whereas school never did that for this particular person. I think there are lots of people out there like that. Being forced to read certain books for school, not fun. And a lot of people do rebel against that. But being here voluntarily and reading and interacting and all that, encouraging reading. And interestingly, this person remarked on how now that he has gotten more and more into fantasy and other genre fiction, now he wants to go back to those classics that he was assigned and read them and wrestle with them. And so I just think it's such a wonderful thing. I had a great time with that, and I'm looking forward to this series. I think I mentioned already when I was talking with Mike at the end of that video, but I mentioned that my next guest is going to be Joanna, and I'm very excited to be talking with Joanna. She and I have had some great conversations, some on my channel, some on hers in the past. We've had great Malazan discussions, and I'm looking forward to just chatting with her about anything that comes up. And I've also asked Jimmy, and he has said yes. Jimmy from the Fantasy Network. Great guy he's a community builder. Jimmy is a community builder. He does wonderful things on his channel, the Fantasy Network. Chatting with Nuts is, in many ways, kind of a great model for what I'm trying to do here by talking to other booktubers. So I just love what he does there. And so I wanted to return the favor because he's had me on his channel quite a few times. I think I've only had him, only once on my channel. And that was to talk about John Gwynn's The Shadow of the Gods. I think that was the one time. Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the case. Maybe twice. I'm trying to think now. But anyway, I am so looking forward to having him. If I'm doing it once a month, though, Joanna will be in early January, Jimmy early February, and there are so many other people that I am excited to ask to be on the channel. But I'm only going to think a couple months ahead of time for now. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So what am I doing right now? I am reading Toll the Hound still. I'm almost finished, though. And I've been talking about this for the last 2 episodes, I think. It's a big book, and it is a book that I find not easy to just blow through. It is a book that I have to pause frequently while I'm reading and digest what I'm experiencing. It is a book that, for me, among all the Malazan books, and they all have these different themes that they share in common. But I would say that Toll the Hounds, for me, the most prominent thing is probably grief and the various facets of grief. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. And I understand why it is the favorite of many Malazan fans. And I understand why it is a book that frustrates some Malazan readers as well. But I find it to be a gorgeous book. Very melancholy, though. And not a book that I feel like blowing through. Plus, my life is just busy right now. It's near the end of the semester. I'm doing a lot of grading, and I'm doing some writing and all kinds of other things. So it's just not something I've been able to read really fast. But I will be finishing it definitely this weekend. So yeah, by the time maybe some of you watch this, I will be done with Toll the Hounds. And I will be discussing it, of course, with my excellent friend, Dr. A.P. Canavan from A Critical Dragon. We will do our usual drill where we have the non-spoiler discussion on my channel and the spoiler discussion on his channel on A Critical Dragon. And I believe that these videos will not be out this coming week, but the week after. So maybe a week and a half from when this video comes out. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about Toll the Hounds. It is a tremendous book, the one that Steven Erikson referred to as the cipher for the series. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting discussion with AP. They always are interesting when Professor Fireballs is present. Expect fireballs. So what else am I doing? Well, and after I finish, I will definitely be reading Stephen King's Wizard in Glass. This is book 4 in the Dark Tower series. Very much looking forward. I've been talking about how I'm looking forward to getting further in the Dark Tower series, which has been maybe one of the biggest surprises for me since I've been on Booktube. How much I love that series, how weird and quirky and different it is, and how much I enjoy King's character writing. And just the fact that the guy goes for it, and I respect that. So yeah, this has been a great series, and I really want to push. I haven't gotten in, as far as I want into that series because it hasn't been prioritized as a buddy read. The things that I read with other people, I'm going to be prioritizing because I have deadlines to meet and all of that, and I don't want to let people down. So, but I am very excited to continue in the Dark Tower, and after that, I plan to. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do these both in December. Blood and Bone by Ian Esselmont. This is the 5th book in the Novels of the Malazan Empire. This has also been a wonderful read for me this year. I'm really enjoying Esselmont's contributions to the Malazan world and his writing. He is one of the best atmosphere writers I have ever encountered. The guy is amazing. He deserves to be talked about a whole lot more on Booktube for sure, and I will be shouting about his books for quite some time, I am sure. So yeah, that's what's in store for me. I think I might even squeeze in another book before the end of the year. We'll see how things go. I will be very busy though, grading over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's that time of year, folks. 'Tis the season for educators to be very busy. So yeah, that's how that is. But I do enjoy my students very much, and I am very proud of them, and so I owe it to them to do a good job reading their essays and all of that. So what else is going on here? Well, I was also involved in a fantastic chat. Speaking of Jimmy from the Fantasy Network, he invited me to participate in a chat on the Bone Hunters, book 6 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And participating in that discussion, we also had Joanna and none other than Alan from the Library of Alexandria. So the 4 of us had a really wonderful time talking about the Bone Hunters, which is a tremendous Malazan book. I think it's just one of those books that definitely one of the 10 that makes me cry. So not all 10 do that. But the Bone Hunters really did get me, and it's a beautiful book. A book with 2 major climaxes, I think it's fair to say. So, and some really iconic moments in the Malazan series. You'll find those moments in the Bone Hunters. So, Igatan, right, everybody? I mean, wow. And Malaz City. I mean, it's just tremendous. So, great stuff. Had a wonderful time chatting with the 3 of them. Wonderful booktubers. And I encourage you to check out their channels. But yeah, I mean, anytime I can talk Malazan with people, I'm going to probably enjoy myself. So that was a great time had by all, I think. And we had some great participation in the chat as well. So yeah. What else is going on here? Well, let's see. I also participated in a discussion with AP on A Critical Dragon. This was a discussion on reviewing. And you may recall that I did a video on why I don't give stars. That's probably the easiest way to remember it. But it was about how I review books, and I related it to my experience in college, where I went to a college with no grades. And you probably all heard that, so I won't repeat it. But it was really pretty cool for me to have this discussion with AP, actually, because I feel like I had great interactions with people as a result of me making that first video. Lots of fantastic comments, lots of great feedback from folks who do use stars, and I really appreciated everybody's input there. And I also got some reactions from fellow booktubers. A couple, like Larry Has Opinions, and Larry made a video. And in the video, he, I think, largely disagreed with me, which is great. I enjoyed his video very much. I gave him 5 stars for his video. So, and it was a really nice discussion that has, I think, happened as a result of I think it's good for us to think about what we do, and why we do it. And so, and there's lots of room for different approaches here. So it's fantastic. So Larry made a video, and Ola, from it used to be the Reading Witch. Now she changed the name of her channel to it has the word witch in it. I'll put a link in the description below to all these videos. But I'm sorry, Ola, I'm forgetting the new name of your channel. I want to call it the Reading Witch, but that's the old name. Anyway, she also made a fantastic video on this topic, and I really enjoyed her thoughts. And it was really interesting to watch her sort of just unravel all of this and think about what she's doing when she's reviewing. So I had a great time with both those videos. But talking with AP on his channel about all of these things sort of converging together, and for me anyway, it was a conversation where I put all the pieces together. So it was among the conversations I've had, the videos I've been in on this topic of reviewing, for me, this one with AP was the most important, because it helped me just put everything together with that feedback from people commenting on my initial video and other people making videos. Also, Joanna did a great tag video where she talked about the topic as well. So yeah, that is I mean, it's pretty cool to see these ripples when we have these kind of important topics on Booktube. And so I really enjoy pondering other people's positions and their thoughts. And honestly, it's such a rich form of interaction. So it was really great. But having that conversation with AP really just sort of, I think, helped me to articulate everything that I had been thinking about. So highly recommend checking that out. And I will put a link in the description below to all of those videos. So, all right, well, what's coming the week that is coming? Well, let's see. I'm very, very excited, because I will be having my first Long Price Quartet chat with the group that is tackling the Long Price Quartet together. The first book, A Shadow in Summer, we will be discussing it on Andrew's channel, Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and it's going to be a live stream. So it's going to be on Sunday at noon here on the East Coast of the United States. So that's EST time. That's 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time. So if anybody wants to catch us there on Sunday, that would be fantastic to see you there. I was very impressed with book 1. I did review it as well for my channel. A Shadow in Summer, wonderful start to the tetralogy, to the quartet. And I was really deeply impressed with Daniel Abraham's writing. Even though it was a kind of a slow burn, I found myself very engaged as I was reading it. And Alan, who is going to be participating in the discussion, along with Nico and Sarah and Andrew and myself, Alan had said many times over the last few months that I would enjoy this quartet, and he was right. The prophet of the Long Price Quartet was correct. So far anyway. We'll see about the following 3, although I seriously doubt that Abraham is going to drop the ball here. He just seems like too good of a writer. So yeah, I'm very excited to be involved in that discussion on Andrew's channel. Hope to see many of you there. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So, and I will be discussing Wheel of Time episode 6 with my buddy AP. And that one is going to appear on his channel on A Critical Dragon. Probably, I'm guessing, if I know his schedule, it's going to be on Wednesday on his channel. We're going to have, spill our thoughts on episode 6, which I haven't yet seen, so I can't say how I feel about it even yet. But I'm excited for the series. Really, I am now after episodes 4 and 5. I think they've done a lot of good stuff there, stuff to build on. Hopefully they'll be able to keep running with that because I think they did some really good things there. There was some good storytelling, and I know it diverged from the books in some considerable ways. I don't know how they could avoid that, though, given the amount of material that's in the books and how much they have to compress, how much they have to condense in order to put this on a screen in whatever number of, is it 8 seasons they're going to have? I'm not sure. But it would be impossible to do a beat for beat, repeat of what's in the books. And I don't think it would be very interesting either. So, yeah, looking forward to that, having that discussion with AP. We shall see what the two of us think about episode 6. Also, I have another archetype discussion that I did with AP. That's all recorded, and I think that'll be out on Tuesday on my channel. We're discussing the callow youth, a figure that you often see in fantasy. So think somebody like, a young fella, usually fella, but could be a young lady as well. These days, more and more, thank goodness, we're seeing more and more young ladies in this role. But yeah, a young person who goes out into the world. This person is usually fairly parochial, coming from a rural area, a bit naive about how things work, and they go out into the world on a journey and learn. So it's a great archetype and very common in fantasy. But you have many, many examples of it, and I think it serves an interesting psychological function. That's been a fun thing, talking about these archetypes with AP. We now have, let's see, this is part 16, although there are only 15 videos, and to see the story behind that, you have to watch, where did AP miscount? I think it was part 13, he labeled it. So from part 13 on, you'll see a few exchanges on the topic of counting episodes. But yeah, we have 15 videos, 16 episodes on these archetypes. And it's been really, really, I think, impactful for me to be talking about these archetypes. For me, I've learned a lot through the process, thinking about how these patterns and how these characters and everything, how they work in fantasy, and how they can be used well, and what psychological purposes they could serve. So it's been a great series. They are not our most watched videos. They are more watched than the poetry videos, though. That's kind of a low bar, but the archetype videos, not the most watched, but I have a feeling that there's a lot in there that could be, I hope they would be valuable to people over time, who want to think about how fantasy stories work. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. I am so happy to hear from you guys in the comments and to interact with you there. So please feel free to leave your thoughts. And I hope to see you in some of these discussions as well in the future. And I hope to hear from you as I review the books that I'm reading and discuss them. It's a wonderful time here on Booktube for sure. And thank you so much for listening to this. And until next time.